everyone, and welcome to this Video Sans Frontières video. My name is Jay Wakefield, and today I thought I would do an update video on my main rig. Now the reason I'm doing an updated video on my main rig is quite simple. See, over the Christmas period and what have you, I've actually made a few changes to this system. For one, I've upgraded the processor. I have also upgraded the video card. And as some of you might notice, I've actually upgraded the keyboard as well. Very nice. So with that said, I think I think it's actually worth an update. That said though, I think I've actually done enough with this system for a while. I should probably stop throwing money at it. So anyway, let me talk you through what I have done with this machine. And for those of you who haven't seen it before, let me fill you in on what all this is. So, this is a Cooler Master half 942 case, which I got from FreeCycle. Some of you will remember this was originally built into an Alienware case, but I swapped over to this case because it has USB 3 ports on it. I'm not sure you'll be able to kind of see it from over there, but they do exist. There's two USB 3 ports, two USB 2 ports, a Firewire port which isn't connected because the header cable is not long enough to go to the Firewire header on the motherboard. And there is one. Talking about the motherboard, it's a Z77 Asus board, P8Z77-VLX board. So it is, it doesn't have SLI support, but it does have a handful of PCI sockets, PCIe sockets. It has a couple of PCI sockets. I think it's got 3, and it has 4 USB 2 ports on the back and 2 USB 3 ports, as well as a PS2 mouse and keyboard port. And there's also VGA, DVI and HDMI in case I wanted to use the onboard graphics. The processor in here used to be an i3-3220 running at 3.3 GHz, is now an i5-3330 thanks to LMO3 running at 3.0 GHz turbo boost up to 3.2. Nice. There's 16 gigs of DDR3 1600 memory in here, crucial ballistics. I have a 2 TB Hitachi Ultrastar boot drive, which has all my software installed, and a Toshiba Enterprise 4 TB data drive. Obviously both of these drives are enterprise grade, so you know what that means. Actually it doesn't. It means that there's absolutely no sound deadening. So when this thing gets going, it'll sound like a 1995 Packard Bell or something like that. Optical drives, there's 2 of them, believe it or not. I still believe in the optical disc. And in that spirit we have a OptiArc DVD writer and a Pioneer Blu-ray BDRE drive, so it can record Blu-rays, which is good. Graphics are provided by an NVIDIA GeForce 1050 Ti, which was a recent upgrade I made, and that drives this monitor, which is an HP Z something or other, ZR22W, which is a bit dusty, I admit. 1080p IPS display, nice. It's plugged in via DVI, although it and the graphics card are DisplayPort compatible, just in case I wanted to go down that route. Underneath the monitor is actually another thing that I've recently upgraded. This is a Geezer keyboard. It has clone switches, clone Cherry MX Blue switches. So it's very nice and clicky. Mouse, I'm using a Microsoft Blue Track mouse, which basically means that the LED underneath is blue rather than red, which means high resolution for the mouse, or something or nothing. Then I've got Logitech speakers, card reader, Microsoft webcam, an Xbox 360 controller. I do also have a Logitech F310, which I'm going to be using with games that do not support the X input standard that the Xbox controllers use. I also have a wireless headset, which I've left charging. That's for chatting to people on TeamSpeak, or Skype, or Discord, or whatever I use. And I obtained from FreeCycle a colour laser printer, which is very good. And we'll show that off a wee bit later, actually. Anyway, let's get this machine started. This machine is reasonably quick, but obviously because it's on a spinning disc, it's not going to be instantaneous like it would be had I made my boot drive an SSD. The SSDs, yes, I do quite like them, but they're very expensive. You know, certainly the pound per gigabyte factor is quite a limiting one. Anyway, let me just log on. Does get to Windows pretty quickly. And here we are at the desktop. I mean, the hard drive's still clattering away, obviously. Right, this is I suppose I should talk you through the software as well. That might not be such a bad idea. So this is running Windows 10 Pro. The desktop background is one of my creations on Forza Horizon 3. It's a Volvo 850R that's got probably a wee bit more power than it should have. In fact, it's four-wheel drive now. As well, which is always good. I have a few things installed on here that do boot up with the machine, including TeamViewer, I must admit, because you know, sometimes if I'm out the house I might leave the machine switched on, and then sometimes I might access stuff from it. Kind of useful. I do, and I know this is going to get me a bag of comments, but I do run Norton on here. And it is just so, it's a lot better than it used to be. It's not as, it's nowhere near as lethargic as it used to be. Anyway, I'm going to zoom in now, which I can do with the Windows key now, because I have one. By the way, my Model M keyboard is now with the in the retro computer corner. Time to run the benchmark. You're about to run all tests. This may take several minutes. Are you sure you want to continue? Yes. Okay, so now it's it's doing numbers stuff. Physics test running. Oh no, my computer's having to set an advanced higher physics test. Sorting test running. I remember doing that in nursery. I also remember doing CPU single threaded in nursery as well. Now I'm kidding on. Now we're doing graphics. Trippy, man. I love some of these tests. I think that's kind of sprite scaling. Is it? It certainly looks like it. I love how this tests things that you would do every day, like scaling, resizing of fonts, scrolling. Later on, it'll even operate drop-down menus and what have you. In fact, oh, it's doing it now. It's doing the It's doing the tree style things, drop-down menus, and other dialog box goodies. And it's doing photo rotation. It'll do saturation of color and brightness. Look at that. So it's not just all about games, this is about an overall... This is kind of one of the overall benchmark tests. I kind of like that. This is pretty cosmic. What is this? An After Dark screensaver? Could be. Could quite well be. Oh, here we go. Now we're actually doing graphics stuff. How well does this run? I remember when I would run these on my GT 610, some of them would struggle. But then again, I mean, that card was literally for putting pixels on the screen and nothing more, really. So what games it did run, it ran well. Wow, look at those hairy planes fly. Oh, here we go. This is running very nicely. It really kind of shows what a difference a good graphics card can make. To even an older system like this. I mean, I built this back in June 2013. And it was an upgrade then, and it's still going well now. And I kind of like that because, as far as I know, certainly the way that the British government is acting, it's meant that Joe Public is basically still suffering economic turmoil. And as such, most of us can't go upgrading our computers like we would have done in the 90s or what have you, even though they were more expensive back then. But we just can't go upgrading as we did, so it's kind of nice how the older hardware is sticking around. Even a Sandy Bridge system is still very much usable today. Trippy. Now we're doing Warp 5. We are reaching the farthest reaches of the universe. So this card will do Warp 5. That's good. It'll also do fractal stuff. That's quite trippy as well. You really don't need acid tabs to see pretty colours. You just kind of need to run something like this on your computer, and then all the prettiest colours in the world. Oh, now it's doing stuff at the command line. What's it doing? Wow. That kind of looks like it should have been a Windows 95 screensaver. Okay, now it's going to do some tests that we're really not going to be able to see the results of, so tell you what I will do. I will come back to you when it's actually came up with a score. Alright, so my final score after all that was just done is 2712.6. I seem to recall my original score being 1155. That was when I had the 610 and the i3 in here and 8 gigs of 33 megahertz memory. Now it's got 16 gigs of 1600 memory, an i5 and a 1050 Ti. Let's see, computer model. Enter the name of the computer model as stated by the manufacturer. Example, HP Pavilion P6 2100 Dell Inspiron 15R Alienware X51. If you don't know or you custom built your computer, then leave this blank. So I'll put some notes. Flying Scotsman 2013 custom built. Sorry, custom knelt. Whoopsie. Oh dear. But numbers only tell half the story and should never be relied upon, you know, to tell the whole story. For that, we need to actually use this system, you know, for real world uses. For example, games. So why don't we just have a look at that? I'm just gonna find a game that you know, should be good to test the graphics on for here. Joking aside, I mean, obviously this is not graphically taxing really at all. Probably would be on some lower end cards of a couple of years ago, but actually I don't think it should be looking like this, but who really cares, to be honest. It's a brilliant game, you know, and if I was going to, you know, play all the sounds and what have you, and get disturbed by that, and I don't know what I'm doing anymore, it's really good. The atmosphere, the sounds, the fact that it's in... It's in kind of, it's in black and white, but it's almost, you know, it's got that kind of hanging in the balance kind of feel to it. It's brilliant. I like it. It's dark, but in a almost beautiful kind of way. You know, and that's something that's really kind of come on this year. Is that's really something that's come on this year in PC gaming. Not this last year, but the past few years is the indie games circuit. You know, there's a lot happened, and you know, there's a lot of games that aren't. You know, they've kind of pushed out the envelope. You know, I mean, this game here proves that you don't need sparkling perfect 4K graphics and super realistic 3D. I mean, those things help, don't get me wrong, they do help. But you don't necessarily need that to make an enjoyable game. What are you doing? Seriously. This is frustrating now. I think he's trying to commit seppuku. He's walking away over there and then over there and then up there and then around there and then down there and then up there and around there and oh my goodness. Just I don't know why you need to wear that glowing maritolite on your head. I wonder. Maybe if I leave him to push this box along some, he'll maybe run out of energy sooner. Ah! There we go. So this is a bit of a puzzle game as well. Like I said, I really like it, but I would advise that it can be a bit gruesome. So, you know, you might want to watch out for that. You know, even though it's just shadows, it is a bit gruesome. And it's probably the sort of thing that would definitely have given me nightmares as a kid. Oh, I've ended up down here and I can't get out. Fit me today. What? I thought I was dead. And then it seems that the only control I have is jump. I don't know what I've done there. Oh. That might help. That definitely helped. So yeah, you've really got to concentrate on. You've really got to know what you're doing for this game. It's very much a trial and error thing. And like I said, if I had the sound enabled, it'd be even better than that, because the atmosphere would just kind of add to it and really make the experience intense. But because I've just totally messed up on here, we're gonna end that there. And I could play on any one of these games, but I think we all know why we came here today. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to welcome for the first time on PC Forza Horizon 3. Oh, how long I have waited for a Forza game on PC. Yeah, it just doesn't even bear thinking about. But finally, Microsoft are making steps in the right direction. We had Forza Motorsport 6 Apex, which is... It would kind of think of it as a subset of Forza Motorsport 6. I almost like to think of it as Forza Motorsport 6 Prologue, except it's not crappy like Gran Turismo 5 Prologue was. But that's now available, and so is Forza Horizon 3. And for the most part, it plays really well. I mean, you do need demanding graphics. I mean, these first play anywhere kind of games, universal Windows platform-ish games, they are quite demanding, but that's because they've not really cracked the optimization yet. Sorry, I had to turn the sound completely off there, because then I'd have a blooming copyright nonsense. I think though I should be able to turn the sound back on soon. I've got quite a few cars, but let me show you my LaFerrari. This thing. This thing will put hair on your eyelids. Let's see. Oh, 1093 horsepower. That's more horsepower than the original Veyron. And I would probably... Hi Jay, welcome back to the game. I've got another driver for your lineup. Even though you've hired and fired drivers, and I'm going to make you feel guilty for hiring and firing another driver, I thought I'd want to mess with your head. So let's take this car for a wee race. Ah, brilliant. I was going to take part in this last time.
Drifting expertise will be on show here at the Horizon Retro Rally Championship.
And now we're going to take the Subaru with too many lights on it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Subaru... Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Subaru Impreza 22B in the world. And as far as I'm aware, this is set up to run at 60 frames a second. The frame limiter is off. And I'm not doing well already. Look at that. That's pathetic. It's a disgrace. Come on. I'm not gonna get beat by some guy in a Ford Escort. Oh look, I just did a drift. Let's try restarting it. While we're doing this race, I want to talk a bit about Windows 10 and what have you. I mean, because there's a lot of hate for Windows 10. Literally. I mean, you talk about anything that's wrong with a computer that's running Windows 10 and people will just child all over the place. Oh, it's Windows 10, it's the worst thing ever. I'll admit that Windows 10, especially 1607, has not been one of Microsoft's better attempts. In fact, in some cases it's just been downright bloody awful. But, that said, there's only, I mean, Windows 10 as a whole, okay, it's obviously got some bad rep for the telemetry stuff that Microsoft does, and Microsoft, they really need to grow up where updates are concerned and let users actually pick and choose which ones to install. It's not fun when you have an update when an update is installed to your computer which damages things, and if you try and remove it, what will then happen is it will then reinstall itself. Like, no, we know better than you about your own computer. I mean, I can understand why Microsoft wants to might want to force updates on, you know, inexperienced users, you know, in order to stop them, you know, prevent the spread of viruses and what have you. But, I don't know. I don't like it. You know, it's my machine. I should be given the choice. This is what I don't like about Apple computers. Or Apple iDevices. You're not given choice over what you can do with your own device. But at least Apple Macs will still let you choose whether or not to install updates. But Windows 10 will not. That said though, Windows 10's been perfectly fine, I must admit, for me. I know a few friends who have had problems with it, and to be honest, I think 1607 is really the blame here. It's not Windows 10 overall, it's just this particular build is very messy, and always has been. And one of the biggest problems I've had, which you might imagine for me, this is kind of a no-go thing, is the magnifier. If a task anywhere on the desktop stops responding, that's it. The magnifier will stop following the mouse pointer. It will stay in the one place and there's nothing you can do about it. So I don't like that. Yeah, because then I've got to use the keyboard, which I can do, to move Windows over to the spot of the screen which I'm allowed to see. You know, and I'm sorry, but they've been telling us since the 90s how, if one program crashes in Windows NT, it won't affect the rest of all your applications because each program is given its own workspace. Well, it seems that one of the more fundamental party pieces of Windows NT has been lost in Windows 10 build 1607, thanks to the fact that the magnifier gets stuck anytime an app becomes a bit busy, uses a bit too much CPU for Windows' liking, or crashes. And I just think that is totally unacceptable. There was a bit of the magnifier getting stuck in Windows 7, and it would do it in a more arbitrary fashion. But you could forgive it then, because it was the full screen magnifier in Windows was brand new. They need to sort this out, because it really is unacceptable. You know, you're essentially locking people with disabilities out of the computer anytime something goes slightly wrong. And that is not something that I'm okay with, obviously. But that's really the only problem I've had with Windows 10, is this particular build, which I'm hoping the next build is a lot better. Oh well, finished in 4th. About as well as could be expected. Let's see. This is going to take a lot to win the rally now. Oof! But as you can see, Forza Horizon, which you do actually need Windows 7 build 1607 to run, is actually doing quite well. The 1050 Ti is a fantastic graphics card. I mean, obviously some people are going to get butthurt because it's not a 1080 or 10 to 10 Titan, whatever it is, super multi-hyper thready graphic high def core thing. But at the same time, I like it. I think it's a brilliant card. And it really has kind of put life into this machine. That went well. Anyway, so that was Forza. I do have some real world applications on here. I've got Firefox, and I've got Microsoft Office 2016. There we go. So there you go, that's Word 2016. Now, I think we've covered all about, well, pretty much all we can really cover about this computer. Oh, by the way, a zip drive. Way, there's a zip drive. But I wanted to talk a bit about the laser printer, so let's do that. So this is a colour laser printer, scanner, copier, fax machine, all in one. And it connects to basically all of my computers over the network. It's I can connect it either via USB, Wi-Fi, or wired Ethernet. And that is something that I've been after for quite some time. You know, people keep telling me, "Oh, gee, lasers, they're more economical. You want to go get a laser." I'm like, well, that's fine, but I can't bloody afford one at the moment. Oh, but you make the savings in the car. I can't afford a laser, but then you're gonna make the savings in the toner and the printed for pound and pence and bleh. But eventually, I was able to get one on FreeCycle. I put, it was out of black and magenta toner, so I've put those in. And now the printer actually will do a thing. It's really quite good. And it also supports Google Cloud Print. You know, I can actually print from any machine on the network, and my main machine does not have to be switched on, which I think is a good thing. See, I wanted a colour laser printer because I do print stuff in colour. I do use colour, believe it or not. And I wasn't really willing to go to black and white. I was very lucky in that I was able to procure a colour laser printer on FreeCycle. And the fact that it's a multifunction device, that's even better. So, let's see if I can actually get this printed. I'm just printing something out straight from the web, so I don't know how it's going to come out. One thing I do like about this copier is that it has an automatic document feeder as well. This is the CLX 3305. So, yeah, there you are. Sorry, just taking inspiration from the maritime man who printed "Hurr, I'm a horse" from a laser jet 4, which is one of my favourite laser printers because I used to use them in school. Anyway, this has been a wee look at my main machine. So I really do hope that you've all enjoyed this video. So thank you for watching. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please feel free to click on the links to subscribe to the channel, to like videos on Frontier on Facebook, and to follow me on Twitter. But for the meantime, please do feel free to join me for my next video.